Welcome to TW Sports Talk. Middle of preseason here with the Philadelphia Eagles after the second preseason game. Some things to be concerned about right now, though, with the team. As, this obviously the wide receiving core is pretty banged up. Although, Nick Foles looked better, at least in this second preseason game.
Better, not great.
Not great, but
Not
again, not mobile, which is, another key, factor riding on perhaps his season, because, again, this offensive line, they have a hole, and
maybe it's because his boy Deshaun Jackson's not there anymore.
That not stretching the field,
yep.
Which, that's obviously that could be problematic. You had, Lane Johnson not being there. His replacement right now hasn't been looking too good. And again,
the secondary, Kerry Williams went out.
Yeah.
What was it Curtis Marsh came in? Clearly the guy was not ready for prime time.
Yeah. So, like we expect, there's some weak spots here in this Eagles team.
Yep.
That, going into this season, if this season does not, go quite as planned, then, obviously there's going to be a big backlash on Chip Kelly and for, the reasons we mentioned.
Yeah, so. maybe change the playbook next season, Chip. Maybe start huddling. Maybe some more.
Yes.
If you're going to huddle, it's when guys stand in a circle and discuss a play. It might take a few seconds on that clock, maybe.
Yeah. Now, I guess as we look with the starters and what they did here, again, Nick Foles not as bad as the first game, at least, kind of looking, a little more up to par. No interceptions this time. I'm sure that, that first game that, rose a lot of concerns. But, and if he threw another interception or two or whatever in this preseason game, that would have continued, a lot of concerns. But, again, Nick Foles, they practiced with the Patriots, the past week, although there were some turnovers in this game,
the
particularly, the MoMA fumble, after Nick Foles, delivers a nice pass.
A guy's might not even be on the main roster.
Yeah.
but still, nonetheless, that's depth there that this team does not have.
Again, Jeremy Maclin this past week, pulling a hamstring.
Yeah, as he was, and I quote, burning Darrelle Revis.
Burning Darrelle Revis. Yeah.
Burning Darrelle Revis, yeah. Yeah, he tweaked his ankle. Well, he was burning Darrelle Revis in practice, even though Darrelle Revis might have been going, 75, maybe 50% during practice?
Yeah.
I want to see him during 100% Darrelle Revis.
Yeah. Obviously very questionable stuff there, but yeah, and of course, Cooper has been recovering. He's been walking around.
That foot injury, that boot, he's still wearing that boot.
So, as far as like starting receivers here, I guess they only really had this slot receiver, Jordan Matthews, playing in this game as far as starting goes. So, Nick Foles was short, with starting receivers here, but Jordan Matthews here having, a good showing, after a week, maybe having the rookie jitters.
He's the only guy they've drafted that actually's been semi-impressive.
Right.
Josh Huff's a bust at wide receiver.
Yeah, he's like strictly like a special teams guy.
Exactly. That's it. That's always why we got him.
Yeah, returning kicks and punts.
He's just like Brad Smith. He's just there for the return kicks. He's a complete bust when it comes to being wide receiver.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a concern right now. Heading, Jeremy Maclin having all these little injuries here and there, and
coming off an ACL nonetheless.
Off it, yeah. So, obviously that's going to be a concern as we roll through.
Especially when he has only a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
so he's got to show.
He's trying to prove himself here, and
probably Cooper I think has a lot more pressure when you sign a 3-year deal.
Yeah,
with a lot more money.
Yeah, we'll see if he can stay healthy throughout the season.
See if he can play well.
Play well, yeah. Play well on the outside.
When Deshaun Jackson's not on the outside breaking the defense, let's see how much Cooper gets open in that secondary then.
Fortunately for Jordan Matthews, though, he had a good game.
Yeah, he did a great game.
And the tight ends, tight ends looking like, like beasts out there. Brent Selleck on the one play, gets his helmet knocked off and,
Yep.
just kind of, shaking it off.
Ertz
And
goes
Ertz another,
Granted, it's when the offense starts from 30, their own 30.
yeah,
No. I'm sorry. New England's 30 after a block punt, which is something you're hardly going to see in the regular
yeah,
season.
yeah. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, Ertz, the tight end is looking good as we would have expected,
Yep.
and
Kicking sucks though. Alex Henry's
yeah,
gonna give us a lot of heart attacks this year.
I mean, he misses that 47-yard field goal, and I mean, it's not a chip shot, but he misses it by like a mile, and
He might actually lead the NFL this year in most misses from that 35-yard field goals
yeah,
out.
yeah,
I can. It's only a 10-yard difference.
yeah. So I mean, if games come down to field goals, it might not be very comfortable unless it's a chip shot when it comes down to
Grant,
something.
I don't want this offense to score field goals. I want them to score touchdowns, and they've only
Right,
got
yeah,
one. This first string only has one so far this preseason.
yeah,
And if this defense, they got to score a whole lot more than one.
yeah,
You're gonna need this team's gonna need to be once again taking the load like they did last
yeah,
year, probably even more so. And it's not the same offense back. It's
yeah,
a different offense, and I
yeah,
don't think it's
and yeah, and not only that, I mean, it's questionable with the wide receivers staying healthy too right
yeah.
now. So it's Jeremy Maclin and this and that.
You
So
can't keep throwing the Ertz and Selleck. You can't rely your
yeah, they
offense completely on a tight
yeah,
end.
um, yeah, and Jordan Matthews either. I mean, need to get the outside guys more involved here.
And you can't keep throwing screen passes to McCoy and Sproles. That only works
Yeah,
so long too.
yeah, and if defenses are stacking the box too as well.
Yeah.
So they gotta be interested to see how if they can respond to that. But
I said that Jacksonville games. I don't care what some Eagle fans saying overreacting. I take
yeah,
these preseason games serious.
yeah,
Not the win or loss,
not
but
the winner.
but I want to see results here, positive
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, and fortunately, out of Foles, there were some more positive results. The secondary and the defense, they didn't look good as you would expect. But you know, go around the division a little bit. Eli Manning, he's I think 1 for 9 in this preseason.
As one person said, he hasn't thrown an interception, but he hasn't thrown a touchdown either
Yeah,
yet in the preseason.
yeah,
I mean, look, it's a new offense. I get that, but still, this
yeah,
is just pathetic.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about
I
that.
see them being the bottom feeders this
Yeah,
year. Eli's got to start playing like Super Bowl champion Eli Manning.
yeah, and they don't have an offensive line really, and
Don't have a running game.
no running game.
David
Yeah,
Wilson, that career-ending neck injury did not help.
yeah.
Like I said, it's a very old team. I have a feeling this is the end of
The Tom Coughlin
Tom Coughlin.
era.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, Tom Coughlin. Dallas pretty much same shoes we're in. They got to line that offense to
yeah,
score a lot of points
yeah,
because that defense is just horrendous.
yeah, yeah. So I mean that all remains to be seen. I mean now last night you had
Give them credit though; they got a receiving core.
yeah,
That's more than we can say. I think I would take Des Bryant or any one of the receivers we have right now.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
The guy, and I'm curious, if anybody in our secondary can stop Des Bryant.
Yeah,
I mean, Grant, last year we all thought that the Cowboys Eagles were going to have a shootout last year and end up being both defensive battles.
yeah,
How the two of the worst defenses in the league can play so badly, except when they face each other, I have no idea. I don't know if it's because it's a rivalry and they're highly motivated
yeah,
finally, or the offense is just highly, I don't know, in over their heads and they think, oh, this is a piece of cake, and all of a sudden, like, oh shit, they actually can play defense.
yeah, yeah. So as far as the defense in this the second preseason game, of course, Kerry Williams is outspoken when it comes to how he doesn't like the Patriots and he thinks they're cheaters. And, fortunately for him, he picked off Tom Brady.
Kind of tweaked his ankle, though.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, and then, yeah, Curtis Marsh getting brought out and whatever. And,
yeah, and then Curtis Marsh just,
yeah, stinking it up. And so, yeah, I mean, that was,
gets the second string. The third string even embarrassed him as well.
yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about how bad the defense is. Right there. That's the depth of our secondary right there. So Kerry Williams does not stay healthy this year. We're screwed, I think, in the secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, Kerry Williams is like the only guy that's, occasionally been breaking up passes, I've noticed in these games.
And he's not even like the best corner in the league. Not even close.
Yeah, when if like the pass rush isn't there, the secondary is kind of screwed, like you said. So So that's what I take from that. I mean, with the whole Kerry Williams thing and everything there. So um, again, I mean, special teams, with the exception, Alex Henry, looks a little better this year,
Yeah,
maybe.
Josh Hubb is a huge improvement
Yeah,
from, and like I said, Brad Smith's been that's pretty much what he's been doing in his career too, is returning.
yeah,
Yet starting out as a quarterback in college and so on.
yeah,
And I believe when he played for the Jets, he ran the Wildcat a few occasions too.
yeah,
Not Chip Kelly's offense. Not going to
yeah,
happen.
yeah. Of course, now Mark Sanchez. I think he's like 18 for 22. He had that,
Yeah,
he had that
yeah.
interception,
It
but
that was bound to happen with
yeah,
playing with the second string.
yeah. Um, But if Foles goes down with an injury or something, I mean, Sanchez is at least a decent backup.
Yeah, he's
Um,
not the
yeah,
franchise.
exactly. So
The
let's
day
make
Mark
that
Sanchez goes in
let's make that clear.
is the
Yeah,
day that the Eagles have given up on the regular season.
yeah,
That's the day Mark Sanchez goes into the starting lineup.
yeah,
He's just there to maybe attract a new team that may want a new starter next year.
yeah. And if Foles goes down for like maybe 2 games,
Yeah,
say maybe they can go 1-1 with Sanchez, and
depending on who they face, Tyler.
right, yeah,
Let's
exactly.
see who those opponents are
Depending
going to be.
depending like when something like
If
that
it's
might
against
happen.
Seattle, I think it's a different
Yeah,
story. 49ers, interesting because their defense hasn't really been playing well this preseason either.
yeah, they're banged up.
Yeah.
That the San Francisco defense, yeah, they got a little
And Colin Kaepernick
banged up.
has not been exactly letting it up in the preseason either.
Yeah,
So,
they're a little banged up, and
which if you're
but
Arizona and Seattle, you're loving it because that's
and even St.
you beat
Louis, I
you
mean,
beat well, even St. Louis too because I think even St. Louis feels confident now
they're
with their
looking,
defense and so on. So that West is going to be a bloodbath this year.
yeah, yeah, so
The East is going to be essentially who's going to make it to who even wants to even bother making it to the top essentially.
yeah,
Because essentially all it means is that you make it to the top and you're probably going to lose in the wild card probably.
yeah. I mean, you'll probably either face San Francisco or maybe Chicago, or I don't know,
I
one of those teams
Yeah,
probably, because I think Chicago
could be Detroit, could be
could be.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those teams could sneak in.
Yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, no wild
it's
cards coming out of
you,
this
you know
East.
you got the competitiveness of the West, and then you got the just the pure stupidity of the East, pretty much.
Yeah, no defenses
Is
pretty much, and
Well, Washington I think has a defense.
yeah.
I
Well, I
think
mean,
they show they got a pass rush in
yeah,
that team.
yeah. I mean, I mean, against the Browns, granted, but
I don't know. He made Johnny Manziel
well,
pretty
yeah,
fast.
yeah. Well, again, I mean, Johnny Manziel. I mean, he has to, I guess, adjust to this the speed of the NFL, and maybe I don't know, but
I'm
again,
sorry. Who had a rookie year on the other side of the team aisle? RG3.
RG, yeah,
I don't know, he kind of like really like caught into the game very fast.
yeah.
I believe Washington went from worst to first
Although he
that
got
year.
yeah, although he got banged up, and now he's got to evolve as a
Yeah,
pocket
yeah,
passer.
true.
So I mean, this year,
Granted,
you got to see if he
you
can
say that
do
about
that.
Colin Kaepernick, but he's clearly ignoring that because he hasn't gotten
Well, no,
hurt yet.
but the
He hasn't
difference
gotten hurt yet.
but the difference is he gets out of bounds and he slides, whereas RG3 was taking big hits.
He also may has a better
That's
offensive line, Tyler, than some of these other guys have.
well, no, but I'm talking about when he runs the ball. I mean, he gets out of bounds. Cam Newton too kind of does this.
Yeah.
Whereas guys like Michael Vick, like he didn't really know how to slide.
Yeah.
And he takes some hits
Yeah.
and he get banged up. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah, I
And
kind of apologize. His quarterbacks going head first when they go down, not
yeah,
don't even slide or
yeah,
so on. They all like go head first. I'm like,
yeah.
that's just begging to get a concussion.
You look at like when Foles would occasionally run last year, and he'd kind of just like drop to the like
Well,
his
yeah, exactly.
slide.
He didn't even try to slide.
Yeah.
He just dropped.
That's the thing. Like if
I'm just
they
saying,
can run, they
out
got to
of
be
the
able
first
to.
2 weeks, Washington is the favorite, and based on
Well, yeah,
first 2 weeks, if we're gonna be honest with ourselves here, Philadelphia
okay.
has dropped from the favorite of winning the division. I think. I know other people say RG3 is not looking too consistent. At he's looking more better than Nick Foles has. As
I
my
guess
opinion.
it depends how much you look at the preseason though, because then again you can
I
say
do. I look at it very because like I said, right now I think the 49ers are in third place right now in the West. The way they've been playing compared to the
well,
Seahawks and the way that the Cardinals have played.
yeah.
I'll still put them ahead of the Rams because I still think I want to see if Sam Bradford can stay healthy this year.
Then then again, you look at who the Eagles played in the pre. I mean, they played the Patriots, or
Okay, they played the
a
Bears.
possible
The
Super Bowl
Bears, who I
contending
mind
team.
you, almost lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars
Yeah,
in their
again,
game.
that's what. Again, I mean, that's what I'm like. It's to me, it can be a wash,
No, but the
really.
Bears starters were getting their ass kicked by the Jacksonville starters. The same Bears starters that got 2 interceptions on Nick Foles kept our
I
offense
mean,
from
yeah,
scoring 0
okay,
points.
but I mean, again, I mean, it
So
depends.
is Chicago a better team than us? If that's the case, is Jacksonville a better team?
So I don't see again. I don't necessarily look too much into that because it might depend on what the game planning is, what the teams are trying to work on, as well. I mean, to me, that's what I really look at, really, at the end of the day. I mean, because these teams are going to be working on different things out there, at different times. I mean, and again, I mean, last week in the first preseason game, for example, I mean, the offensive line and, Nick Foles, they weren't necessarily up to par with, they weren't up to speed with, okay, now your quarterback can get sacked. This isn't practice anymore, with Foles in the red jersey.
Okay, once again, I said, whose fault is that?
Well, I'm just saying, obviously that's how they, Chip Kelly's whole offseason, approach there. But I mean, I'm just, that's an explanation as to why, maybe they weren't as good there.
I'm just saying. Say now it's Washington, it's Philadelphia, it's Dallas, and New York. That's how I would rank them right now, based on preseason performances.
Is that how you predict that things are going to shake out? That's what I'm asking.
I want to see how week 3 goes. I'd say after
All right.
week 2, with the eye test.
No, but like if the preseason was over now in the regular season,
yes, I would actually go that
that's
route.
how.
I would actually go that
see,
route.
I don't look that much into two
And
preseason
you know what? You know what,
games.
Tyler? Though history has shown that then in the last couple of years, the worst team last year wins the division
Yeah,
usually.
well, that doesn't always mean it's gonna happen.
Well,
but
Washington did it. We did it.
yeah,
Who's to say Washington doesn't do it again?
But again, I mean, the starters aren't out there the full 60 minutes too.
Okay,
I mean,
but
a lot can change in a football
I
game.
will grant you week 1.
These are small sample sizes.
I agree with week 1, even though Foles was technically in for a full quarter. And in the second matchup, he was pretty much in for pretty much 2 quarters. And week 3, he'll be in for 2 full quarters, no question. That's usually when stars got to do. So week 3 definitely is a big test. And it's against Pittsburgh, who looks like it might be making a playoff push this year, I think. Ben Roethlisberger's been playing like Ben Roethlisberger of old, and this offensive line's been playing better. The receiving core has been coming together better.
I mean, again, though,
and against our secondary,
again,
I can see him lining this up.
Again, in full, when teams are playing the full 60, first teams are playing like in the regular season, there's more time to make adjustments and this and that. I mean, you want to see guys perform consistently.
But here's the fact with the NFL,
but they're smaller sample sizes.
Here's the fact with the NFL, the game gets faster as the season goes on too.
Yeah.
So if you can't play well at technically its slowest stage, that should also be a red flag because as the season gets going here, it's gonna get faster then.
Yeah.
But like I said, you brought up, it goes both ways. Yeah, our offense can adjust, but their defense can adjust too.
Well, we got to.
It goes the other way.
I know, but I mean, you got to see how things play out here, and I mean,
I know there's people there, but for me, the preseason means something.
I mean, it does, but
not as far as wins and losses go, but as performance matters. If the guy's not playing well, to me, that reflects on the regular season performance.
Yeah, and I think to be I look at Nick Foles and okay, he didn't have really the starting receivers that he would normally have, and he played well. I mean, and then of course you got the hole with Lane Johnson.
If you're Jeffrey Lurie and is that could be excuse for resigning the guy? Well, we didn't give you the receivers you clearly needed this year. That's why you didn't play the par maybe.
Well, no, I don't. Well, because then at that point, then Chip Kelly might look for another guy. I don't know because supposedly Chip Kelly says I can put anybody in this offense scheme or whatever and make it work.
Those people would say Chip Kelly is kind of semi-full of himself a bit here.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And like I said, maybe that Eagle, maybe because we won the division last year, because we're at 10-6 last year, maybe he's got a bigger Eagle this year than last year. Maybe because I almost felt like last year he wasn't clearly maybe buying or selling too much. This year I really feel like he's really trying to sell people here that, oh, this is it. You thought last year was impressive. This year we're going to really light it up this year.
Yeah. Well, he has to. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be any better.
And I can do it. And it's going to be a better offense despite us losing 2 of our best receivers last year too. Well, I mean, like I said, that's what it feels like Chip Kelly's preaching this year. Is yeah, I can insert everybody.
Yeah,
Mark Sanchez can go in that starting rotation, and we can pass just as well as if Foles was in there.
yeah. Well, I don't.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
He says his system is unbeatable.
yeah. Well, I
Granted, we lost 6 games last year.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they started out 3-5. And,
Exactly. It wasn't like it was the best start either.
Yeah. So
I'd say Mother Nature helped us in one game last year too.
yeah, yeah. But the bottom line is, Chip Kelly, he has to win the division this year again, and if he doesn't, there's going to be a huge backlash, and
Yeah, not just from a quarterback, maybe from the playbook perspective.
more so. Yeah, yeah. I mean, probably more so on Chip Kelly than anybody else. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean,
and also made Jeffrey Lurie because I guarantee if Washington goes in worse than first and Jackson's a big factor, why that's going to come back in hard Philadelphia.
Well, yeah, definitely. So, but then again, can Jackson and coexist with Pierre Garcon and
I don't. He seems to be very happy in Washington, Tyler.
Yeah, well, I mean,
some guys that's all you need, Tyler. Some guys that's all you need is just something new. Either it's a new location, new coach. Because RJ supposed to be playing way better than Wade did under Shanahan his second year. That probably has a lot to do with Shanahan not being there.
Yeah.
For some guys, that's all you need to motivate them. But it was just something new.
But yeah,
and all of a sudden, they're this whole new person then.
Yeah, but well,
I mean, granted, like I said, you could probably bring up Donovan McNabb. Well, he went to Washington, that was kind of a bust. And then he went to Minnesota, that was even more of a bust.
No, but I mean, Jackson, when he was in Philly, could kind of waver between being a good guy, team player, and then next game he comes out and he's just kind of doesn't quite look like the team leader or anything like that. And I guess you could say.
And like I said, I understand that there, but
so
my problem though is that it felt like we got rid of him there because of this photo about criminal activity in that and so on there. Like
that's what they were trying to I guess cover up. I don't know. I guess they were trying to justify it more by saying like, oh, this is look what Deshaun Jackson did here, and
even though he has no criminal charges, he has no criminal record.
They were trying to. Yeah.
I mean, and I feel like the photo was being done as a way to justify. Well, this is why we didn't trade him. This is why we didn't trade him for somebody else. We just cut him.
Yeah.
So, because like I said, it was one of the stupidest things the Eagles ever did. It was, why would we not trade Jackson for somebody else?
Get something out of him. Yeah. And
Houston would have been the perfect target right now.
Yeah.
I think Andre Johnson and Deshaun Jackson would have been a perfect trade, I think.
Yeah.
Houston would have got a receiver that maybe actually wants to play for Houston, and we get a receiver that maybe wants to play for Philadelphia then.
Yeah.
Both guys clearly want to get out of the city probably. They want to play in. Problem solved. So, they get a receiver, we get a receiver.
Yeah.
But what did Philadelphia do though? Oh, we're cutting him. Oh, it's not the attitude excuse though. It's this picture that shows him next to these two guys supposed to be part of a gang. And
then people saying like, oh, he was bad in the locker room and that too. So I mean, I don't know, but
I made no mistake about it. The guy I'm sure was not had issues in that. But I'm not gonna throw him up there with Terrell Owens or Chad Ochocinco / Johnson as being so detrimental to the locker room that killed the locker room. Because obviously we still won the division this year.
Yeah.
That's more than what Owens and Johnson ever did to the locker room. They usually made a team 10 times worse sometimes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so obviously that, the receiving core is something that, I mean, hopefully they can stay healthy, but then again, I mean, Macklin might have these little nagging injuries here and there, and that could be a problem. And I mean, we'll see how these guys do on against the Steelers this coming week.
Yeah.
And,
the last real preseason game, I think.
Yeah.
The Jets doesn't matter in my mind because at that point you got your starter settled in. It's just about making that final, trying to make that final 53. That's all. It's all about week 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So
New York might be a different story. There might still be a quarterback battle week 4 maybe for the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, they got Geno Smith and Michael
Vick,
Vick,
and that's an interesting battle there, I think.
Yeah.
To me, the Cleveland Browns situation just got worse for them.
Yeah.
New York is actually those two, maybe two quarterbacks playing well in the preseason. At least you're saying, okay, well, either way, both are playing well, so it's not a problem here. We got Hoyer playing bad, and then Manziel playing bad,
Yeah.
and Connor Shaw was your best quarterback of the night, your
Yeah.
third stringer. I mean, for Cleveland, that just makes you scratch your head going, okay, is this even what we want pretty
Yeah.
much?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame they're missing Josh Gordon now, I guess, and
Well, no, he even played last night. He's still playing in
oh,
the
he's still
preseason.
playing. Oh,
He is
but
not.
then
He is not. He appealed, so the decision this doesn't go through
it's
the
still
court
going.
system
Yeah.
yet. I don't know how that's going to work. Supposedly, like I said, he's gonna get convicted. Supposedly, now for the season before the regular season
Yeah.
starts. And if that's the case, then it's down to pretty much. I think it's Nate Burleson and Miles Austin,
Yeah.
two of the saddest guys from Detroit and Dallas, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
but then again, it sounds like Hoyer's getting a starting job. It sounds
yeah,
like, especially the way Manziel
it's
handled it.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
flip off
A whole bench and
a whole bench, nonetheless, and you do it publicly with
you
the
put a
camera
big
on you.
yeah. You just put a big target on your back.
Well, you also verify
That was
why
already
certain
there.
teams would not pick you up,
Yeah.
which is this stupid attitude this kid has here. This,
Yeah.
I get it. It's who the man. It's who he is. That's who he is there. And I get there's been other players in the past that had issues there, but when I saw the middle finger, I'm like, this guy could be the next Ryan Leaf right here too.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Leaf did shit like this, and look where he's at.
Yeah.
He's not playing NFL anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll look forward to the preseason game on Thursday now this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Probably comment on that. Week 4, we're probably not going to comment on the Jets because that's it doesn't really matter. I think at that point we'll make our playoff predictions maybe again. Because you've made some changes.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like
I said, and that's why I think the preseason matters is because I said I already made some shuffles. I think as far as who might make the playoffs, who might not make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the preseason, but I haven't. I don't react too strongly unless maybe the Houston Texans and you're getting blown out
32-0.
Yeah. Or you're the Giants and you were. I mean, they were like the Giants, for instance. They were down. They were getting destroyed, and Eli Manning's not looking good at all.
Yeah.
And yet, I guess their third string guys, came back and
won a game, which is good. Which is good for those guys. They want to make the roster, maybe. But yeah, that definitely makes you as a Giant. But that's my point, though. I'm looking at the starters here, Tyler. Yeah. I think the Redskins starters have been playing the best of all the starters of all the teams.
Well, I mean, then again, to be fair, I mean, the wide receivers for the Eagles, I mean, they haven't really been playing too much because, Riley Cooper's banged up. Macklin wasn't even there this week, playing.
Injuries happen, Tyler.
I know.
That's all part of football. There.
So, but I'm just saying, they got MoMA out there and fumbling the ball.
If that's going to be the Eagles, if injuries are going to be an excuse for why the Eagles played poorly this year, then clearly Nick Foles relies too much on talent. And he's not as good as people thought he was then.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying it there because what was one of the questions here? Who made Foles better? Was it his receiving core or was it him? Did he make them better or did they make him better?
Or Chip Kelly, you have to throw.
Because when Peyton Manning came to Denver, he made Eric Decker a star. He made Darius Thomas a star. And then some people would say, who at one point said, "That's what Nick Foles did to Jackson. He made Deshaun Jackson a star. He made Riley Cooper a star in that, and so on there." But then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, well, he doesn't have Jackson. So is he even going to be as good? Or does he have Cooper? So is he even? So who made who a star here?
But no, I'm just saying. Nick Foles. He's not really right now. He's playing. He's not really playing with the guys that he's going to be more familiar with in the rate. And if they can stay healthy, I mean,
that's
again. It's a couple preseason games. Like I said,
if you are Jeffrey Lurie, and that's the reason why you think Foles is not playing well, is because our starters were just getting injured too often.
Yeah, I'm not.
Do you say, okay, we'll give you a pass this year. We'll sign you an extension. Yeah. You'll still be the franchise guy because we still think you have potential here. Kid.
Yeah, but that's
like I said, that's part of running a business. Making the tough decisions.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying they're not there right now, but throughout the regular season they'll probably be there more often unless they just continue to get banged up. But I don't. I mean, I think they're going to be healthy at least more often than again. I mean, it's preseason games, Cooper wasn't there, and so again, I mean, regular season, maybe they will be there more often, and that's all I'm saying.
Will they play well? That's all I'm saying.
They'll probably play better than MoMA and the guys that they got in there. That's what I'm saying. So
maybe not Jordan Matthews.
And
he's looking like the best guy we got so far.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's healthy. He's been out there, and he had a good game.
Look, the 5 receivers receivers slash six we're probably going to have is probably Cooper, probably Macklin,
Matthews.
Matthews, Huff, and probably Brad
Yeah.
Smith
Huff
because
is
for
more.
returns.
Yeah, Huff
Yeah,
will
yeah.
probably be
So
more of a special
throw out
teams.
Huff and Smith. We got Matthews, Cooper, and Macklin. That's our
Yeah.
three guys essentially.
Yeah.
And maybe
Which
and maybe
should be.
MoMA.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go six, maybe.
Back up. Yeah.
But then who are gonna cut then? Throw in the sixth
Yeah.
spot then.
Jeff Mail, maybe. But
We're not from a receiver perspective. Like, obviously, adding an extra receiver, you got to take away maybe an extra
somebody
running
else.
back or
Yeah.
an extra defensive back, which would be a big mistake on the Eagles' part,
Yeah.
or an extra offensive line. You know, that's what I mean when you add one, you take away one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll see, but yeah, and especially because Huff too. I mean, if he's more of a special teams guy too as well, that kind of fills another
I
spot.
really think the only reason I picked him up is because he's from Oregon, and Chip Kelly is just so full of himself in this offense here that he just thinks, oh, well, this guy dominated the same offense in Oregon. Well, it was Oregon time. It was Oregon. It was against Washington State, Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying Pac-12 is not a competitive football conference. It is. It's going to have probably at least one team make the college football playoff this year.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as an NFL defense.
Yeah.
It's a little faster defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Huff. Yeah. I mean, Huff more of a special teams guy here.
And like I said, he had a nice return in the first one.
Yeah.
That's great. I think our return yard is going to be definitely going up. Definitely even with Darren Sproles and doing punt returns as well, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there are positives to look at there, but it's just I don't feel the same way I did last year during the preseason, where I don't think the Stars had one bad preseason game last year. To be honest with you,
that and I mean there was a competition, QB competition, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the thought process there was probably different. The approach, you know, to this to the whole QB battle and to that preseason in general.
But then again, everybody said, "Look, we're not even running the offense. We're probably going to run the regular season."
Yeah, I mean,
who
knows? Really?
Look, this time we're actually running the no huddle, and it's just not having the same results that it had last year.
No huddle, but I mean, who knows about what as far as play calling goes?
I know. I heard this constantly on the radio on our way down there.
I mean,
well, Chip Kelly probably has still some secret stuff. We probably haven't even seen all the playbook
Not just
yet.
that. I mean,
It's like,
not just that, but I mean, they weren't even. They're barely running the ball when that was. I think the majority of their play call. Well, maybe 50% off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we line a shotgun a lot most of the time, Tyler. Usually throwing the football.
Yeah.
You're barely running the football.
So I
usually.
mean, there weren't. Yeah, I mean,
even with the Sean McCoy, I mean, he had a pretty good even percentage of receiving and rushing yards last year.
Yeah. So I mean, they're trying to preserve him for the most part.
Well, yeah, and probably Sproles as well.
So I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
I get that, but at the same time,
they're preserving guys because you kind of know what you have with them for the most part.
I'm just saying when you have a problem in one key position, which to me the key position here is wide receiver, not running back, wide receiver. It's nice to have a solid running game, because it puts less pressure off for the quarterback a bit. But I think that look at the problem we have wide receiver. This team could easily not win the division this year.
Yeah,
especially with all the holes in the defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if Macklin and Cooper aren't out there, obviously that could be a problem. But that shows a sign.
The team last year could win shootouts.
Yeah.
I don't know if this team can win shootouts.
But I'm more, I'll be a little more comfortable if Cooper and Macklin are in there and they're healthy.
Like I said, I'm just saying they better take Jacksonville damn serious. They better not be thinking this is going to be a walk in the park.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think Jacksonville will be as bad as they, some people might think that they would be. But so
how bad are they going to beat them? If they think it's going to be still a win, probably
maybe by like 10 points. It won't be a blowout though.
So even you're admitting that Jacksonville has potential of beating us pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that could beat the Eagles this year, but I'm
exactly. But when you have Jacksonville beat them,
and especially in week 1,
is it because we're worse than last year, or I guess we're trying to say there's a lot of people saying that if we lose to Jacksonville, that's it, season's done. Just pack it up now. Yeah. There's no way. Look at the rest of our schedule. We lose to Jacksonville, all of a sudden this is clearly first of all, for a Super Bowl contender before even the season starts.
Yeah.
Not happening
with
this team. But for our division title, it's usually Jacksonville because we can't stop Chad Henne or Blake Bortles. Can we stop RG3? Can we? Who has a better receiving core technically? Can we stop
Yeah,
Can we stop Dallas if Rumble can stay healthy and consistent? Can we stop Des Bryant?
yeah,
Giants would probably share because really almost anybody can stop the Giants this year.
yeah,
But if we lose to New York, pack it up because
yeah,
it's just not going to happen this year.
yeah. And plus, week 1, 2 can be pretty unpredictable too as well. So yeah, I mean, Jackson. I don't think it'll be a walk in the park that first game.
And that's all I'm
As
saying. A few weeks ago, when that schedule came out, it was a lot of Philly fans said, "Walk in the park, it's easy,
yeah,
check
before
it off."
a while, yeah,
Yeah, before
definitely.
action even started, before we actually got on the field and actually saw, and that's why I said the preseason
Well,
eye
before
test.
before they
How can this team play?
before they drafted Blake Bortles as well, and just based
But
off
even
of what
then,
they,
he might have been a buster in the preseason,
yeah, well,
and he hasn't been a bust. So,
yeah, I mean,
but it's kind of been a bust. Or wide receiving core's been kind of a bust based
yeah,
on who we drafted so far. Maybe Jordan Matthews looks like it's a plus, but Josh Huff I'd say is a bust as far as wide receivers go.
yeah. Again, I mean, special teams player. At least they can, at
But I
very
feel
least, they
like
can
that's
put
not
him
why
in
we
there.
drafted him, though, Ty. I feel like Chip Kelly said this guy could be our next top guy. He could be
Yeah. Well, I
he
don't,
could
I
be our
don't.
next top guy. I think.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what he said. That's So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what he said really, or what the thought process was. So I mean,
I'm just telling you.
I'm just
I'm
looking at.
telling you. If the guy's comments are anybody can play well in this system, then I guarantee you he picked
Yeah.
just Josh Huff because he thought, oh, this guy
Well,
can be our
I mean,
sex could be a potential star in this
yeah,
offense here and so on.
yeah. Well, I mean,
I
I
know
don't.
the guy personally. I
Yeah,
coached him in Oregon.
yeah. I mean, I don't really care. What he thought here. I'm just looking at like what they have in him. I don't. I don't really care what Chip Kelly thought about him here because
Well, I kind of do
I
care
don't
what the coaches
believe.
start there
Well,
because
yeah, I know that, but I mean, because I don't necessarily. I believe that talent wins in this league, and I don't believe that. I don't believe fully in the theory that Chip Kelly can just plug anybody in there, and
well,
to some degree maybe he
I
can, but
I would hope
not with
nobody would
everybody.
believe that there. I hope that most people in the league would say that's an asinine comment to say.
Yeah,
Talent clearly matters.
yeah,
Look at Seattle. What also matters? Depth matters too. Look at Seattle. They can plug in guys every
yeah,
time they get hurt in that.
yeah,
The Niners really don't have that anymore, which is what you're seeing now. Once you lose some of those starters on defense, that defense gets exposed so easily now.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Which, like I said, makes Colin Kaepernick in there because does he have to start winning shootouts now? Because he's not used to that. He's used to having a dominant
Yeah,
defense, keep that score low on the other
but
side, and
yeah,
he can just run the offense then.
but then at times when he needs to, put up points and his offensive line breaks down, he'll single-handedly, maybe make a play and get out of
Yeah,
bounds,
or just throw a lot of incomplete passes essentially.
or
When he can't run,
spin out of a sack and throw one, to the other corner of the end zone and
which
for a
gets
completion.
or gets tipped by Richard Sherman.
Yeah, which was a great defensive play. It wasn't a horrible throw. I mean, it was a great
Why
defensive
would you
play.
throw in the direction of Richard Sherman?
Well, I mean, again, I mean, it's you gotta complete a pass somewhere. I mean,
To me, his worst excuse for as a passer was the Super Bowl against the Ravens. Now I know people want to blame play calling. I can see that too because you should. Why the hell would you get that close and on first and goal not just keep giving it to Frank Gore, who got you down to that goal line to begin
yeah,
with, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh no, we're gonna put it in Colin Kaepernick's hands. Cause it's only first and goal.
yeah,
Okay, move forward. Incomplete pass. First, okay, here's a go. Let's keep throwing. Second and go. Okay, third. We should really give
yeah,
the gore. No, keep throwing.
yeah.
Incomplete
Well,
pass.
I mean,
And
again,
also that controversial fourth. I
yeah,
don't care. Controversial. And it should have been called. Should have been called there. 4 straight passes on first and
yeah,
goal for the 49ers
yeah.
when the running game got you down there.
Well, yeah, and that's I mean the Ravens defense too, and that I mean they were fired up behind Ray Lewis too, I think as well.
But
I mean
wow.
they gave up, but
Ray Lewis was
but they
clearly a shell of himself in that game.
well, yeah, I mean I mean he had like he was recovering from a torn triceps or something. I mean he was in he had like a brace on
I'm
or
just
something.
saying, Tyler. Watching that game, it was 11-10. Ray Lewis was a complete non-factor in that defense in that
Well,
game.
I mean
It's made for motivational purposes. You're right.
and he's like the quarterback of that defense,
Well,
as
yes,
they would say too,
that's the same.
which kind
He
of
has
makes
intangibles which are key. But as far as a physical presence in that game,
Yeah, I mean
none,
he was banged.
none.
Well, yeah, he was because I mean he was banged up in that game as well.
He
But
also should really be thanking Joe Flacco and Jacoby Jones for getting some key offensive and special teams plays in as well.
yeah, but
And the 49ers should definitely be thanking the lights for going out because that clearly killed the momentum of the Ravens and so on.
yeah,
I mean, listen, that Super Bowl, there's so many factors at play there, but the one thing that the 49ers cannot deny is the fact that Colin Kaepernick had a chance to win the game in his hand. They blew it. You're going to say Jim Harbaugh
yeah,
blew it by even
yeah,
putting it in
and I
his hand to
mean
begin with.
yeah, and again, I mean that regime is still well. I mean Harbaugh's been there, but
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick still has things to learn, and there's still room for improvement for
Still,
him.
he might be the Donovan McNabb of the 49ers.
Yeah, but
He came so close so many
yeah,
times and just never could win the big
yeah,
one.
and I mean, but Donovan McNabb was, I mean, still was a good, a very good quarterback.
I know, but then again,
He didn't get,
it's against the Niners. When you got the name Steve Young and Joe Montana in
yeah,
front of you too, it's not exactly the same as McNabb, who probably
well,
has
no,
has the
exactly,
podium
yeah,
all to himself pretty
yeah.
much.
I mean,
So maybe for Cunningham and maybe Jaworski, and that's about it. I really
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know how the
It's a
quarterbacks.
weaker, yeah. Obviously, it's a weaker class, but then again, I mean, the 49ers for a long time too. They were before Harbaugh came around. They were pretty,
Yeah.
they were pretty direct for a while.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Harbaugh came in and turned it around.
Like I said, so like I said, sometimes all you need is a new coach, and that's it. 'Cause
Yeah,
as soon as he came in there, there's a lot of veterans that stepped up. Frank Gore stepped up big time.
yeah, yeah. So
So I
the
said, I mean,
defense got
and,
good.
and that's what I'm saying with the Redskins. I think that for Washington, I think Jay Gruden might be the motivation they need to turn that franchise around.
Maybe,
Maybe
yeah, maybe, well, yeah.
he is a
So,
Gruden.
yeah.
You know,
So, so yeah. I mean,
if this at least showing anything, Tyler, it's that family name does matter when it comes to coaching
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. So, I guess that'll wrap things up for TW Sports Talk today. As next week we'll talk about
The Steelers.
basically the last preseason game with
Yeah.
the starters. That
Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about the Jets game. Probably we're just gonna probably make our playoff predictions. Which,
yeah,
if I remember right, it's I got Denver and Seattle, and you had Seattle, New England.
yeah,
And we both went with Seattle again, the back to back,
yeah,
which hasn't happened in years. It hasn't happened since the Patriots, I believe.
yeah,
So, once again, history's not on Seattle's side here, but it's making it pretty hard
yeah,
to find somebody who could challenge them right now this
Yeah.
year. There are some teams, but Seattle looks like they're firing on all cylinders so far. Russell
Yeah.
Wilson looks like he's gonna have a better year than last year.
yeah,
He's clearly established himself as a pocket passer.
yeah, yeah. Not just the whole, not the defense carrying him entirely. So,
And that's all I'm saying with Colin Kaepernick. That's all I'm saying.
well, I mean, I think it would. I don't know. I think Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick, they can be pretty similar, but Russell Wilson's a little more consistent.
Russell Wilson has proven he's a pocket passer.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick has not proven to me he's a pocket passer yet.
Well, he can be. He's not.
Especially when it
as
comes
good.
to big games and big
Yeah,
situations.
he's not as.
And
as
if you want to win the big
solid,
one, you
but-
got to deliver
yeah.
in those situations.
Yeah, but other games he has delivered, like the Green Bay game in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I know. He like running him in the field goal
So
range.
he can. So I mean,
And then Carolina, where he ran in to get touchdown. He can't run.
so it just doesn't happen.
All I'm saying is
often
it doesn't
enough.
happen all the time there, which is where it'd be nice if you had that a
Yeah.
passing motion that can come in. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
that
all
can-
I'm saying. He could become a better quarterback if he becomes a better passer, which I know you're saying can happen, but not every quarterback gets better.
Yeah, I know, but I mean the skill set's
Especially
there.
if for them they don't even admit that they're even need improvement. And Colin Kaepernick's whole excuse seems to be is that people who criticize him for that are being racist in that.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
think so. I think Cam Newton's better than him. I think Russell Wilson's better than him. I think those are
Yeah,
all African American quarterbacks right there.
yeah, yeah. Well, all right. Well, that'll wrap things up for
Yeah, this is
TW
about- yeah.
Sports Talk. As we roll.
We stopped
through
talking about the Eagles minutes ago.
Yeah, as we roll through the preseason here. Stay tuned for next week, as always, and thanks for tuning in.